Hey everyone, it's Jasmine. Now, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm going to be covering the 6 most underrated vocal feminization tips that you can implement to stop feeling like getting stuck in that lack of motivation and start actually taking actions to feminize your voice. So let's dive straight into it. Number 1 is to set the goal. A goal without a timeline is simply a dream. So you need to set some sort of timeline so that you can start to actually reverse engineer it within your mind. When you say, okay, I'm going to have, this thing, I'm going to have whatever it is by this date, then your reticular activating system, which is a part of your brain that helps you to focus on what you want, helps you to actually make that a reality. It starts putting all the things in place for you to actually go out and achieve that. So it's very, very important that you really set that goal and you have a time frame so that you can break it down and make it achievable. The second tip that I have for you is to find some way to stay accountable. Now, I know that it can be pretty tricky to stay accountable to just yourself. It's so much easier when you've got somebody else kind of on your back about it and it's not just you. And I know this from first-hand experience. I struggle with this quite a bit. And one way that you can do this is to find an accountability partner. Find somebody who you can do training together and keep each other accountable and, help bounce ideas off each other, help keep yourselves, motivate each other and all of those types of things. So it'll really help you to, continue and also help them to continue as well. So why not? We've got to find ways to sort of hack our brains to get us to do things we want to do. So find a way to stay accountable. Number 3 is to track your training. This one is probably one of the most underused and most helpful. It is such a helpful way to keep up your motivation and also to celebrate your wins. And, as simple as having some sort of habit tracking process where you tick off that you've done it that day. And, it's well documented that when we do that and we tick off a, to-do item, our brain gets a little spike of dopamine to say, yeah, well done, do that again next time. So it is a simple way that you can make your habit a little bit more attractive, you can celebrate your wins, and you can also get that little dopamine feedback loop going on, because that is how you're going to stay motivated to keep the training up. So really important, find a way to track your training. Number 4 is to make your habit sticky. So what I mean by this is you want to find ways to reduce the friction between you and your vocal training. You want to find ways to make it easier, to make it more satisfying, to make it more attractive, to make it more obvious. So when your training hits all of those marks, it becomes a lot easier to do because it's in your face, the cue is obvious. And think of it like if you're trying to not eat junk food. Is it easier if it's like way up on the top shelf and it's like out of sight so that when you open the cupboard you don't even see it? Or is it easier that when you open the cupboard it's just at eye level, it's right there and you're like, oh, wouldn't mind those Tim Tams. Is Tim Tams just an Australian thing? I think it is. But you get the point. You want to make it out of the way so that it's out of your mind. So have, one way to do this is to have an alarm. Like just make it more obvious that to do your habit. And all habits take time, they take repetition, and in order to get that time and repetition up, we need to make it easier on ourselves, right? So make your habit sticky. Number 5 is to look after your voice. Now this is the most important of all important vocal feminization tips, or just any vocal work in general, honestly, is rest when you're tired. Make sure that you are resting your freaking voice. If you've been speaking loudly over music for an hour or whatever, rest your voice afterwards. Drink lots of water. And in fact, actually, Lily looks a little bit parched. I think she should have some water too. Make sure you hydrate. Now, also part of looking after your voice is making sure that you're not pushing yourself too hard. And that could mean following an end-to-end process. Don't take a couple of puzzle pieces from over here, a couple of puzzle pieces from over here, and try to, jam it all together, because it's going to be a little bit more risky for you. So if you're following a process that has, your beginner steps, it's got, the medium or intermediate, and then you've got your advanced stages, then you can make sure that you are actually working at your own pace and you're not just diving into some more advanced exercises right off the bat, not warming up, not doing anything, because that is going to potentially harm your voice, and it could actually set you back quite a bit. So definitely make sure that you're looking after your voice and you're going from beginner to freaking advanced. You don't want to just jump into it, right? So look after your voice. And number 6, last but not least, is to focus on intonation. Now, as I'm speaking, you're probably hearing that my voice is going up and down all around. I'm speeding up as I'm talking and then I'm slowing down. And these are all different sort of intonations or, vocal patterns essentially. So in general, feminine voices rise and fall in pitch pretty often. We have a lot of pitch variance, and they will speed up, and as they're talking, they will go like this, and then they will slow it down. And there's a certain sort of pattern that feminine voices will generally follow. And part of that as well is like emphasizing in pitch. Now, what word did I just emphasize? The word pitch, pitch, pitch. Now, masculine voices are often going to emphasize in loudness instead, and it's just these little things that will help you to get your voice gendered correctly. And the reason I'm asking you to focus on intonation in this is because it is a safe way for you to start getting some vocal practice in without pushing your voice too far, without going overboard. Because once you get the intonation down and you work on those other steps, you get the resonance down, you get the freaking, the pitch is better, you get the, vocal weight all sorted, then it's all just going to fall into place and it's all going to, work a lot better. So this is just one thing that you can focus on now to start your vocal journey. And it's the easiest one, because all you need to do is go to a podcast, go to a YouTube video, go watch a Netflix show, whatever, and just listen to how women are speaking. Listen to their vocal patterns and mimic. Mimicry is one of the best ways to learn how to feminize your voice. Just listen to the vocal patterns that other women are sort of speaking with, and then try to mimic them for yourself. Just pause, and that's how they did it. And that's how they do it, whatever they're saying. Pause and try to mimic how they're speaking. And that is going to be really freaking beneficial for you on your vocal journey. So that is all for this one. And if you do want to dive deeper into this, I do actually have a free 90-minute masterclass that dives really deep into all of this stuff, into some of the things we've spoken about and some other things as well. And I would highly recommend that you come along to that. It's really covering all of those basics, and it's called the 3 things that you must know to feminize your voice. So if you would like to attend that, then the link is in the description box below, and I would love to be able to help you along this vocal journey. So that is all from me. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure that you like, comment, share, subscribe if you want to, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.